Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you guys some tips, how-tos, and tricks for like horses. So before I start this and get into this video, I just want to say I am not a horse expert at all. I'm just trying to give some tips and things that I've learned over the years and how I do things, but you don't have to do everything I do, and I'm just sharing what I know. And if you want to add anything, then you can add things in the comments below to help others for anything I didn't add in this video, because I think you could talk for hours about horses, and I'm trying to cover everything I know without it being like an hour long. So I have my book again because there's a lot of things and I can't just remember all off the top of my head. So first we're going to be talking about how to tack up Western and how to pick out your horse's hooves. And then the next thing was brushes, like talking about the types and what you should have. So you're going to want to make sure they give up their legs, and you can just hold it here. And I see some people hold it like this and do this. That works, but what I like to do, I like to do this way, because I find it gets the dirt out of up here too. And then you can just simply pick around it. And just get all that dirt out of there. And then you can use this brush and brush it off. Clean it even more if you want to. And there you go. I have it here and I'm out of the kicking zone. So you want to like put it on your knee and just pick it out like normal. Or you don't have to put it on your knee, you could just stand like this too. There you go. Good boy. Okay, so here's the type of brushes you should probably have. It gets out that extra hair in summer. You don't really need it for winter when the coat is like, when they're not shedding or anything. You just mainly want to use it for summer, and it just gets that extra hair out. This is a hard brush. It does a really good job at getting the extra dirt off and all the dirt that builds up. Next is the soft brush. The bristles are much softer on here, and it's good at just getting all the last pieces off and refining that coat, all the dust. And you always want to brush with the horse's coat, the direction of their fur. So from the neck, go down. And then what I like to do is I like to swoop down, because you see that fur line change directions and go down. So I like to go like this, or across the back, I like to go like this. Just anywhere you follow their coat line, so then it's not like brushing straight through here, right? More brushing with the fur line, more comfortable for the horse. And you want to have a mane and tail brush, because that's super helpful if they have any knots or something in their mane. You can just brush through it, and that makes life really easy too. These are more for winter, but it's a shedding brush, and like I cannot get through the winter without one of these. These are so important, and I think it's just called like a horse shedding brush or something. So now that your horse or pony is all groomed, you're going to saddle them up. And so I'm going to show you guys how I tack up Western. So you're going to want to make sure there's nothing on your saddle pad, no poking or anything like that. And then you're going to put it up on your horse's shoulders. Again, not too high up like that. You would not want it like that. Or not too far back like that, because then this part of the saddle is not going to be covered by the padding. So where you see like their withers are is about where you want it. Saddle on. You're gonna want to make sure that you have a lot of wither clearance up here. I'm not all technical with the terms, but you want to make sure like this part of your saddle is off of their shoulders. And so when I say wither clearance, I mean like really put this up so then they have space in their withers and for their shoulders to move. Because you definitely don't want anything pinching that part of them. It's a very important part when it comes to riding. I have looked online and I'm pretty sure I've seen it, and well, I call it a Texas T, but you can call it whatever you want. At the end of the day, it's just a knot, so call it what you want. Okay, and then for this part, you want to make sure it's fairly back, but not too far back, right? This saddle tends to slip up on him a little bit. But yeah. Okay. Good boy. Go. Okay. He's a little chunky, so I'll just pull back his skin a little bit. Through here. Pull that tight. This way and up through here. I don't have any jingle or anything to remember that. This is purely just from experience, and I'd encourage you guys to just do a ton of research, and because that's really the only way you can learn. And just pull it tight. There you go. And that's how I do it in my Western saddle. Okay, so now we're going to be putting on the breast collar, and I'll show you guys how to do that. So you're gonna want to start with one side, and the side works. So you're gonna want to clip it. Here, I'll show you guys. You're gonna want to clip it onto this D-ring of your saddle. Yours might be bigger, or they might be in a different spot higher up. Just depends on the saddle. So you're gonna clip that to there. You're gonna leave it hanging, okay? So then, you're gonna walk to the other side and clip it on the exact same thing you did with this side. So you're gonna put it up. Okay, here. Good boy. So then, you're going to... Guys, the ducks are a little annoying right now. There'll be like D-ring clips under your girth strap or whatever you call it, and so you're just gonna want to do it up to that. I like to do it to the farthest because this thing fits a little small, and it's really hard to fit him for tack, so that's what I like to do. Then I just put it into this hole. I don't know. There we go. Okay. Boom. They're all attached. It's time for the bridle, but I'm gonna give him a reward first because that was really good. And now we'll get to the bridle. I feel like I've heard a lot of people who ride Western say head stall. I've always just called it a bridle. I don't know. But really it doesn't matter. Just call it what you want. So you're gonna unclip them, and a lot of people like to take off the halters. I don't know, because maybe it's bulky or something to them. I like to leave this on because after I give him a treat, like I let him graze on the grass for a bit because grass is greener on the other side. So I like to let him graze and take this off so he can actually enjoy the grass. So a lot of your horses might not be like at the spot he is with putting it on. So I like to lower his head, ask him to lower it, and we've been working like 2 years on this non-stop. So he's really good at it now. He knows the drill. So ideally you'd want your head to be lowered, your horse's head to be lowered, and then, hold on, this is backwards. Of course it is. What? Hold on, guys. The arch should be towards the tongue on their bridles. And if it's not, well, that's going to be backwards and probably not feel so good. Okay, so the arch on this D-ring snaffle should be towards the tongue. And let's go. Okay, Banjo, I'm sorry about that, bud. Good thing I caught that mistake there. Okay, so lower. Put the reins over their head. Ask them to take it. So at first Banjo really didn't want to take this, so he would like hold his head up high and stuff. So we put honey on the bit, and that eventually really encouraged him to take the bit. Okay, so that's how you tack up your horse Western, and yeah, now we're ready to go for a ride, and that's it. Okay, so one thing I wanted to say is about the reins. If you're gonna do clip-on reins, then you want to make sure that like this part of it is on the outside, because if it's on the inside, like that, then it'll poke the horse's mouth. So make sure you put it on the outside. So I just went riding, and now I'm going to show you how to take off the breast collar. So you want to start with the bottom first, with it, so that it's hanging, and then unclip this one. And that's how you take that off. You're going to take your latigo, right? You're going to fold it upwards and stick it through here. So that way, when you go riding, all you have to do is just pull it out. Okay? So I'll do it one more time. There. Okay, and then I'll just put my cinch up and put my saddle back. And so that's all done. Make sure you pick out their hooves before you ride and after. Well, first you should look at how they walk. Will they pick up their feet? Are they gentle? Depending on like who it is and what kind of horse, you might want to ask if you can ride the horse, if you're looking for like a well-experienced horse, or you want to see how they ride. And sorry about the background noise. I don't think I can get any peace and quiet out here. You should probably consider its temperament, its health, its conformation, so the way it's built, the suitability, like what are you trying to get a horse for? Are you trying to buy like a horse for a specific discipline, or is it just for fun? Like me and Banjo, for example, when we went to look at him, everything looked good about him, and there's obviously like a few things, like the condition of their feet is something you have to look at, and he does have a little crack, but it doesn't seem to be bothering him. So I think for what I'm using him for, which is for pleasure, trail rides, just for fun, like I think that's completely fine. And so I think you just have to really look at what are you trying to buy the horse for, and if you're a beginner trying to like just get a horse for experience and for fun, then definitely think about how it rides. Is it gentle? Like, what's its temperament like? When you first get a horse, you want to work on really building that bond, okay? You don't want to just get it and ride it right away. You want to give it a few like a week or two to settle in, get used to its surroundings, make it feel safe. And you definitely really want to consider your budget. We made a mistake early on getting horses, and yes, it's a mistake, and no, it isn't, okay? So, don't get a huge horse like Burke, for starters. They eat a lot, they're expensive, and can be hard to manage weight if you don't stay on top of it. So yes, he's like really good, taught us a lot. Don't get a huge horse. Unless you have money to spend, don't do it. They eat a lot, and I'm telling you, a lot. Learn to understand the equine body languages, like, cause when you have horses, you never know. They could get sick or there's something that's bothering them. You need to learn to understand their body language and how they react to things. So for example, like maybe their ears, if they're all the way back, maybe they're mad, or if you're riding, maybe, and they flick back and forth, they're listening to you or something. You know, really want to understand what their body language is saying, and I think that was an important part. And I just learned off experience. That's the best thing you can do. Like, do your research, ask around, get experience. That's the best thing for you. So yeah, I would do a ton of research from everything from good to bad, because that's gonna help you further down the road. Make sure you have a really safe paddock for your horse. We've made the mistake a few times of trying hot wire for a pasture. We just learned that we need to get 3-rail fence, because they were like breaking through it and busting under it and stuff. So we got a 3-rail fence, and that's all we live by. But for you, if you can find a way to keep your horse in and not breaking out, then good. Create like a routine for feeding and watering, like every morning. The animals are relying on you, so you want to make sure you're feeding them. And so if you're gonna give them a water trough, you gotta clean that daily, because it's gonna get scummy and it's not the best for your horse. So you gotta clean that out daily, and you just really gotta consider a few things that I'll talk about later on. So either if they're gonna be in a stall, then you gotta think about getting water in their bucket and changing that daily, or if you have a trough, you have to clean that like pretty often, depending on the season, right? So in the summer, I change banjos about like weekly, I'd say. Either that, or I change it like after a few days. It just depends on like how the heat is. The heat makes things worse. Top mistakes that I made. So, top mistakes that like we've made in general. We were new to horses and we didn't really have like anyone to learn from. I'd say my dad probably knew the most, so I learned a lot from him, but also we just made some mistakes in general. So if you're looking to expand your herd and you already have horses, don't put them together right away. We made that mistake. Leave them separate between the fence for a few weeks or up to a month, depending on how well your horses are accepting one another. Do not put them in right away. They will beat each other up. Another mistake we made, not realizing how much a bigger horse eats. So the bigger the horse, the more it eats most likely. Halflingers do not eat that much. They're really good on food. Quarter horses, just smaller horses in general, are really good on food. You want to have like a shovel or rake to clean their corral. You want to have a water trough, and most importantly, think about an accessible way to fill that up. Like, you want to make sure you can reach a hose out there to fill it up, and you definitely want to make sure that you would have like a water trough heater in the winter. If you get like winter and it freezes your trough, you want to make sure you have a trough feeder for that and accessible power to like keep that from freezing, to keep that from freezing. You want to have a storage barn for hay. If you're feeding square bales, think about how you'll store that. Like we have a barn with stalls, and then we have a hay loft above it. And so if you have like a hay loft, then you're gonna want to make sure you have a hay elevator and a way to get that up into the hay loft. If you feed round bales, that requires a bigger barn and storage area. We don't have that, but we just put the round bales we have right now like under the barn. We definitely think about the storage for your hay. That is a big one. And then so you definitely want to have a lot of halters and lead ropes in case one breaks, things happen. You probably want to make sure you have a lot of those. We've broken a lot of lead ropes in the past and halters too. So not we as in like us, but the horses have accidentally. So yeah, okay. Then you want to have brushes, hoof picks, fly mask, fly spray, head stall or bridle, whatever you call it, saddle, a saddle pad for like riding and grooming and all that, and then you want to have a wheelbarrow. That's important. Make your manure pile farther away from their paddock because it attracts flies in the summer, and depending on where you live, it can get pretty hot. So you want to do as much for your horse as you can during fly season. Horses need salt blocks and minerals. You got to make sure you have that. And if you're wondering like how much hay do you feed your horse, usually like a lot of people do this differently, and really like it's depending on what you think. There's no really actual way to measure it, because you don't want to underfeed your horse or overfeed your horse, even though Banjo probably does because he has a huge pasture, so it's kind of hard to keep him a good weight. He's pretty chunky right now, but I mean I can't do a whole lot about that. So yeah, I usually give Banjo one flake right now because he gets the grass all day, and that definitely fills him up a lot. In the winter, he'll probably get like 2 or 3 in the morning. Like it can be really cold, so really consider what the weather is going to be like and how that's going to work out for you. What I can say is like a lot of it is trial and error, right? I've been owning horses for like 5-6 years now, so I can say every year is a learning experience, and there's definitely no judgments because we all make mistakes. So my top tips would be, when you are gonna get a horse, don't get anything really big. Like quarter horses are good. I'd say anything 15, 16 hands, I don't know. 17 definitely not, because, well, let me just say, like, thoroughbreds eat a lot of hay and need a lot of nutrients to keep their weight going. Whereas if it's like quarter horses or ponies, then they pretty much don't need much. Hay and grass keeps them happy, and they don't need a lot of hay either. Definitely consider, like, you're gonna have to stay dedicated to it. You're gonna have to keep up on the hay. Think about where you can get hay, and just think about your water sources. There's a lot of things to consider, and you're gonna want to make sure you have a solid fencing before you get a horse. So those are my tips, and I'm trying to think of what else I could say. Another big one that I just thought of now was you're gonna want to have wormer in the spring. I forget the seasons. Google can probably tell you everything, but you need to have wormer and worm them. The more and more you own horses, the better you'll get. You want to make sure you have treats for your horses. So I hope at least something in this video helped, or you learned something new in this video. Or if not, then that's okay. But hopefully I was able to help you with some things, and I know I didn't talk about everything. There's just a lot, and YouTube has a lot of videos on here, so I'm sure anything you type in, you can learn a lot from it. I know I sure have. So you can learn pretty much how to do anything on YouTube. So use that. I just have basic knowledge. I don't know everything. So I hope I was able to help in some way today. You can always ask me more in the comments below because I know I didn't cover everything. And if there's other things you guys think that's also really important for beginners, put it in the comments below. I will see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.